Hello and welcome to the I Hit Drums podcast with me, Mark, your teacher for this series. Last time we started looking at triplets, and today we're going to continue working with triplets, but how we use triplets within fills. Let's move on to triplet accents. Now, being able to play accent strikes within any note value rate allows you to create some quite melodic patterns, even while just doing a very simple sticking pattern on a single drum. So in this case, we're just doing single sticking on the snare drum, but we're going to be adding accents within those eighth note triplets. And because with single sticking, that leading hand is constantly switching from right hand to left hand, each of these accents are going to change as well. So in the first example, we have right, left, right, and that first accent on beat 1 is falling on the right hand. But once you get to beat 2, left, right, left, that first accent is now on the left hand. This is really good for conditioning your hands and getting both hands working in a balanced way. I'd recommend you try each of these bars on their own and loop them around, first of all, to get a feel for them. But once you're feeling confident with each bar, see if you can turn it into a longer exercise, so moving from one into the next, and so on. If you also don't feel like there's a lot of clarity between your loud strikes and your quieter strikes, I would suggest that rather than trying to make your loud hits even louder, you might actually be better off trying to make your other hits quieter. This exercise alone might take you quite some time to get a good feel for. But once you've worked through that and you're feeling comfortable with those accents, you can then attempt exercise 6.10. Now, this can be quite confusing for people at first, but I found that this exercise really opened up some new ways of thinking when it came to melodies around the kit. All we're doing in exercise 6.10 is taking those exact accent patterns from 6.9, but instead of playing a right hand accent, we're going to turn that hit into a floor tom strike, and instead of playing a left hand accent, we take that hit and make it a high tom hit. So the first example of exercise 6.9 would sound like this. But by changing the right hand accent to a floor tom and the left hand accent to a high tom, the first example of 6.10 sounds like this. Now you might be wondering what the point of this is. But let's say you're playing a song and it's got a triplet melody within it. Something like da, 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 da. If you were to match that melody with accent strikes, you'd be doing accents on beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and the ah of 3. So 1, 2, 3, ah. 1, 2, 3, ah. And if you played this melody in a similar fashion to what's happening in 6.10, it'd sound like this. And this is how a lot of jazz drummers actually play fills when they're playing within like a quartet. They might be copying the piano melody or a saxophone part and just kind of reworking it using accents, but moving those accents around the kit in this kind of fashion. So they're kind of mimicking the melody of the song, but now they've put that on the kit. And if you can start to do this, you're going to be able to come up with some quite cool ideas. And what I would recommend you do, once you've worked through exercise 6.9 and 6.10, is see if you can kind of chop up some of the accent patterns of 6.9. So maybe take beat 1 of the first exercise, the second triplet from exercise 3, then maybe the third triplet from exercise 5, and that's going to give you some interesting options and new accent patterns and variations which you can then put around the kit, and you're going to get this whole new vocabulary opening up. And for that reason, there's not actually a song with this particular lesson chapter of triplets. But hopefully now that you're getting more used to the feel of triplets, it's going to open up a whole new range of songs and styles that we can start looking at. So over the next few chapters of the book, we're going to start looking at ballads, we're going to start looking at shuffle grooves, we're going to start looking at jazz grooves, because these are all based around triplets. And this is where your playing is definitely going to go up a level, as long as you practice, of course. So we'll leave it there for today. But until next time, enjoy!